going to explain how I built my Powerwheels lift here. First thing I want to talk about is the base of it. Pretty much what I did is I just took basic measurements of the car and built a 2x4 frame out of it. Sides are 2x4 and the cross supports are just 2x4s ripped in half. And then I did like lap joints just to make it nice and pretty of where they connected, plus it keeps it a little bit more rigid and strong. Tied those off to simple eyelet screw hooks, and then the rope I'm using here I think is 3/8 braided nylon rope. You can use cable's easy too. I just grabbed a big long thing of rope and used it. Pulleys, as you can see up here, I'm using 6 of them, and the reason I'm using 6 is because I'm pulling everything over to the side instead of like straight up like you see on some hoist systems. And the hook starts out dead in the middle, and so what happens is the wires coming out, or the ropes coming off these front two, when they get pulled, when they come out to here, they're still pulling the same length amount as they were already before. So what happens? It's a different rate of change of pull at the position that they're at. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you did it with just the 4 pulleys, you'd see what I'm talking about. But as this pulls up, the farthest side away would actually pull more, and so you'd get a lean to it. And so what I did is I kind of did some geometry here. I put the 4 points of the pulleys, on like a Cartesian plane XY axis, and then just had drew up to the point behind me where it connects to the wall, and took my measurements and did the distance formula where, if I put an auxiliary pulley there, where does it need to be to make, when this thing travels its full distance, the same amount of rope pull. And I hope that makes sense. Another way to do it, a easier way of doing it, is to put 4 auxiliary pulleys close together right here at the end, and just so that way all ropes go that way, and so they're all coming off the same point, and that will give you equal pull. The only problem is I have a TGI floor joist above, and they run this way, and I didn't want all that strain on one single joist. I like to over-engineer everything. I like to just do it, not think about it anymore, know that it's done, and I did that. The pulleys are just connected to big eyelet screw hooks. The ends, I just use those locking style carabiners, locking rings, whatever you want to call them. I think I used 5/16 bolts connecting to the TGI joist above me, and the reason why is because I have TGI 110, and they said the maximum screw size you can put in there is 5/16. It's not, I don't have traditional 2x4 joist or roof rafters above me. I actually have floor joists above me because there's an attic space, and the builder set it up to actually have loads across the top. But when I say TGI joists, I'm talking about the engineered I-beams, the wooden I-beams. But there is a set specification for how big of a screw you can use on those. And then I have it going over here to the corner wall, where I have an old pulley. It's actually one of my dad's old pulleys. The other ones I used were just, you can get those at Lowe's, and you can't see it, but it's a machine bolt eyelet up there, and on the back I use one of those plates that you see on sill plates when you bolt a stud wall to the foundation. Like what you'd probably see right here on this wall, they put a bunch of rebar, or they put threaded rod here, and they put those little square washers on top, and then they drill holes in the stud wall and they put that washer on top to even out, distribute the load. I had some of those laying around. So actually on the back side it's chiseled out to allow enough for a nut to fit through. And then I have it down here to one of these. It's actually supposed to be a hand crank kind of hoist, and this is like I think a 1-ton unit. So it goes here. I took this off and found a threaded coupling. Problem is when you go local around here at Lowe's and Home Depot, they only have standard size, and this is the thread on this is actually metric. So I think what I did is I took like a 7/16 or something. Anyway, I took the closest to whatever this thread size is here. I think maybe M12, and actually drilled it more and then tapped it. So it kind of converted a standard to a metric there, and that allows me to put on a nut and use my impact driver and drill whatever, and that gets it really fast coming down. Makes a lot of noise, and it kind of stinks because I have to come across the garage over to this wall to trigger it, just to pull it up. And so later I'll probably do a video later on about adding that bad boy to it, and also some upgrades. Some of the upgrades that I would do is once this is fully lowered, it kind of sucks because you have to lift up the car, and since it's a big car and it's kind of heavy and awkward, it really takes 2 people. And the problem is just getting these wheels over this hump. So what I'm going to do, and an upgrade I'm doing for this, is I'm going to add first I'm going to finish this off with a piece of plywood right here, and then I'm going to take another piece of plywood here, hinge it on that side, and have like a block leg on this side. And then when it gets raising up, pulled up, that ramp will fall down, and I'll probably put a nail or something to keep it from swinging all the way. But as you lift it up, that comes down and allows the car to seat down. But then when it fully hits the ground, that little wooden foot will push up and make a whole platform for it. So then once it's fully on the ground, all you have to do is just drive it off. And then also, of course, put like a little ramp right there off the edge. And so I also have my son's Batmobile, and I think temporarily, and depending on how well it works, I think I'm just going to put some of those ring attachment points here, and I think I'm just going to ratchet strap the bottom of that up to it, and so that allows 2 power wheels on it. You can also, depending on how big your garage space is, you can make this frame bigger, and you can put, you know, 2 power wheels on it, 3 power wheels, how many. Of course, adjust the size of your rope, cable accordingly, and everything, and make sure everything, all your pull-out forces on your eyelet screws are good. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, the only issue I had was figuring out where to put those auxiliary pulleys, but you can, like I said, do 4 of them right here at the edge and don't have to worry about it. But that pretty much explains how I made this thing. I'll probably do another video after I change out to the electric hoist, and also add those platforms and maybe the hooks for the other car. But thanks for watching.